It is our quality time interview on Kansas Sports Chatter, an opportunity to spend a little extra time with our next guests. And today's guest will be Paige McCarthy, the head girls golf coach at Manhattan High School. Coach, appreciate your time and jumping on the show. What's life like in Manhattan right now?
Oh, well, thank you very much for asking me. It's good. On the golf course, we're having a great time. The girls are have started the season out really strong.
You look at the month of September. Is this one of the ideal months to be golfing? Like if you had to have a picture perfect month to golf, what would it be for you?
We have had the best weather. Yeah, it's been great. I my perfect is probably July. I love heat, but for
Okay.
the I think it's September, October.
Golf, obviously being the outdoor sport, and there's a lot of other sports that are outdoors, but dealing with those conditions, especially in the game of golf, how interesting does that make it for you when you have to deal with those elements from time to time?
Oh, yeah. I feel like we normally have the best season of weather. The guys in the spring have to fight it, the conditions a lot more than us. But Monday it was pretty drizzly and overcast and rainy. And some of the younger kids, oh, do we really have to practice? We didn't think we'd have to practice today. And the older ones, like, yep, we're going to have to play in this. Let's just get at it.
How do you prepare for those types of weather conditions? So say if it is drizzling or if it is raining and you do have to go out and play, like what are some tips? What's some advice when you do go out in the rain?
I'm thoroughly convinced. I've convinced myself. Hopefully, we've convinced the girls that we play better in those conditions. Other players, they're going to, maybe make excuses or not like to play in those conditions. But it's like we thrive in those, and I think if we talk that up enough, I really do believe it. Some people fall apart, but I think that our girls really play stronger in that. Just work on the mental part of it.
As far as their approach is concerned, if it is raining or bad conditions, is there anything you do differently as far as striking the ball or how your general approach, I guess?
It just kind of depends on the conditions. When it's really windy, we really emphasize don't trying to don't overswing, and just let your swing, do the talking and into the wind, just a little bit less even.
Do you scout a course like prior to playing? Like, so the ones that you're familiar with, okay, hey, this is how this one reads or anything like that. But if you're going to a brand new course, is it easy to kind of scout it? Can you get a general scout before you actually start play?
We really do. A lot of courses will take a practice round, or the girls, even on the weekend before, they might go down by themselves for league in Junction at Rolling Meadows. We'll probably go over there and play a practice round. We'll do that. Hopefully, anticipating getting to Heston for state, we'll have a practice round maybe even before the actual date of the practice round. So, yeah, I think it's important, and I'll look online, and they laugh because I make them kind of like cheat sheets for every course and every hole, and it's things that I find online about, distances and how you play each hole. And sometimes it's even the yardage books that are online. So they have that and have access, this green is going to slope left to right, or, hit it in the back of the green, things like that. So I think it's important. We try to when we can.
Why golf for you? When did you start getting interested in golf?
Oh, I think I started when I was 10 years old, hated it. And then I picked it up a few years later and liked it. Went to Santa Fe Trail. We didn't have girls golf at the time, so I played on the boys team. And and then I came to K State. Didn't do anything my freshman year, and then walked on my sophomore year, and then I played at K State. And I don't know. I like it just because you can't conquer it. One day you can, and then the next day, you're back to square one sometimes. And I think that's the appeal of it.
Well, you mentioned you hated to start out with. So what switched? Do you remember an exact moment or, okay, hey, this isn't so bad. I'm going to stick with this?
I was pretty stubborn as a kid, so I think I probably thought it was my dad's idea that I play golf, and then on my own, I decided that maybe I liked it. I don't remember, but knowing me, I'm guessing that was probably the circumstance.
And then going from enjoying the sport sometimes is the natural transition to go into coaching. But when did you kind of get the bug to get into coaching and thought that was a good idea?
I started out teaching at Manhattan Catholic School, and I coached volleyball there. When I was at Santa Fe Trail, I played three sports, and I love sports in general. And I always thought I was going to be like Pat Summitt, and I was going
There you
to
go.
dress nice like her, and I was going to be a really successful college coach. But then I decided once I got into it, that wasn't really the thing for me. And the opportunity arose to be an assistant coach at Manhattan High back in 2001 with Larry B. Kraft, coaching legend. And so I did that for 4 years, and then I stopped to help run our kids around to events, and then it opened up again in 2018. And just the timing was right.
What has this experience been like for you guiding the Manhattan girls golf team? How rewarding has it been just for you on an individual basis?
Oh my gosh, you get the best kids. I love the kids in the minor sports like this, and the cross countries and the tennises, and at swimming and things like that, because a lot of times they're just really nice kids, and you get to see them on a level that's not in the classroom, and vice versa. They get to see that we kind of like to have fun too, and that's what I like, is just the relationships and hanging around with the kids. And I act like such a dork in the van, and they let me do that. Their mother or their grandmother, they would be horrified, but they allow me to have fun, and I appreciate that. And just being able to hopefully, I may not be a good golfer anymore, but the course management part, if they'll listen, I think I have some pretty good tips for that. So I like that when they actually execute something that we've talked about.
You mentioned starting out as an assistant coach there at Manhattan High School. Then eventually, you took your break, and then when you came back, and now going into year 8 for you, like what was your approach when you first started back as the head coach at Manhattan? Like, what was your approach to just making sure you had everything figured out?
Well, Kim Cruisenberry, my assistant, and I, we are good friends, and we started at the same time, and we gave ourselves, we wanted the program. It was really strong, and then for several years, maybe there wasn't, they didn't have the teams that they'd had with Coach B. Kraft, and so we decided, you were 3 years, 5 years tops, we wanted to be back uh, on top with this team. And it's all about the kids and the parents buying in. If you have athletes, and if you have kids that come from golfing families, they understand what it takes to be really good, and they're willing to put in the effort. And these kids, last year's team, this year's team, everything is just lined up, and it's been such a joy to be around them and just let them play. We both have had to learn to coach a little bit differently, because we've not had kids of this caliber before, and where normally we'd say, play it safe, do this and that. With these girls, if you feel like you can use your driver there and get it over that tree and get it there, or get through that, your game. And so it's been fun. It's been a learning experience for me.
Well, anytime you win a state championship is going to bring excitement, but like great story on just like the tradition of Manhattan High School. Did that make it even more special to kind of get back on the top in Manhattan golf?
Yes, it really did. And as I'm on this side of things, I had twins that played in the women's program. I didn't coach them, but being on the coaching side, you just realize, you ride the wave while you've got it. It's just so, those teams that stay on top all the time, they are the ones that are the really good coaches, the really good programs. Sometimes, like next year, we'll still have Maddie, and we'll have some girls that are working really hard, but we'll have to climb up a little bit more. And several of my coaching friends are going through that too. They were up for several years, and now they're having to, uh, redefine their teams, I guess. And that's what makes it exciting, I think. Humbling also.
Right. Yeah. An ongoing learning experience. For Coach, last question for you. When you look at some of the best golfers, whether they've come through the doors of Manhattan High School or just ones that you've been able to watch, like what makes the best golfers? You would probably want an all around golfer that's good at everything, but have you noticed like some that are just specifically good at driving or specifically good at chipping or putting that it can kind of take them over the edge? Like what stands out as far as some of the best golfers you've seen?
Um, they would all tell you this too, and anyone that's gone through the Manhattan program way back since I was helping with it with Coach Beecraft, we work a ton on short game. You've heard the drive for show, putt for dough. We very rarely, some of the girls get frustrated because we don't get out on the course very much during practice, but we just work on chipping and putting and chipping and pitching. And I think that's the player that sets themselves apart, and also athleticism. You just can't overstate how, if you have an athletic player, they can learn the game pretty well. Um, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Coach, hey, I appreciate your time and best luck the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
That is Paige McCarthy, the head girls golf coach at Manhattan High School. That'll do it for our quality time interview.